Dr. Joesph Westphal was sworn in as the 30th Undersecretary of the Army on the 21st day of September 2009. The Undersecretary serves as the #2 civilian leader of the Army and the principal advisory to the Secretary of the Army. Together with the Chief of Staff, Vice Chief of Staff, and the Secretary, they serve as the senior leaders of our Army. Dr. Westphal also served as the Chief Management Officer for the Army and is therefore responsible for the business operations and transformation of the Army.
Detachment! And seat!
Dr. Westphal's experience in both academia and public service has been extensive and distinguished. He has served on both the faculty and administration of several universities. He has extensive experience working with the United States Congress and other departments within the executive branch. The depth and breadth of Dr. Westphal's experience and educations contribute greatly to the Army as he leads its business transformation effort. Ladies and gentlemen, the Undersecretary of the Army, Dr. Joesph Westphal.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. And I guess as a senior official here, I'm just letting you know that I'm going to take this beautiful day back to Washington with me later today. Wonderful, wonderful ceremony. General Lynch, thank you for honoring me with the opportunity to be here to uncase the colors of your command. And I'm delighted to be here with Secretary Hammock, our Assistant Secretary of the Army for Installations and Environment, and also with General and Mrs. Lorenz, General Swan, General Schumacher, our Surgeon General, and I guess we have one of our CASAs here, Civilian Aides to the Secretary of the Army. There he is, Tress Kleber, and I think your wife is with you today, so I want to thank you. She's not here today. We'll thank her anyway. I appreciate the opportunity to be here, and I thank the members of the Texas delegation and the members of our staff of the congressional delegation for being here today. And welcome and thank all of the distinguished guests, members of the IMCOM community for being here. I'm going to be brief because I think this is an opportunity for all of us to spend this day chatting and talking and celebrating this great opportunity here in Texas. You know, a while back ago, when General Lynch took command, he came to see me right after he was named to this position. We sat across each other in my room in my office at the Pentagon, and I thought to myself, does he really know the challenge he is about to face? After 9 years of war, huge deployments, significant impact to our force, with efforts going on at the time to balance the force and to meet the demands of an ever-increasing conflict in many regions of the world. This man was about to take command of one of our most important missions. He has impressed me significantly after sitting with him here today and knowing all of the things that he has put together to bring this command here and to get us ready to meet the next challenge that this Army and this nation will face in the coming years. I recently visited Fort Bragg, Fort Riley, Fort Lewis. And just as an example, at Fort Lewis, right now, all of our combat brigades are back. We've gone from about an average of 17,000 soldiers on post to now 35,000 soldiers on post. And the next brigade combat team to deploy is not scheduled, their LAT is not scheduled until at least a year and a half from now. So the challenge for our installations, our Army and our country, will in fact be to sustain this great all-volunteer force. The great professionalism, the great strength and vitality of our soldiers, of our families, and our civilians. That job will rest squarely on the shoulders of most of you standing and sitting here today. Those of you who make up this great command. This is an experiment for us. We've centralized functions. We've come together to realize that this is a huge mission. In Washington, the Secretary of the Army, the Chief of Staff, the Vice Chief of Staff, and myself, the four of us are working hard to convince our leadership in the Pentagon and in Congress that what you do today is in fact essential to the support of our operations and our operational forces. The Secretary of Defense has embarked on an important mission. He feels that in order for the country to win the wars we're in and to fulfill our missions today, that we need to eliminate redundancy, eliminate inefficiencies, and move, as he says, more tail to tooth. Well, a lot of people think that infrastructure, a lot of people think that what we do in our bases is, in fact, tail. But it is not. It is absolutely critical and essential part of our operations and our ability as an army to win the wars we're in. We believe that work you're doing, the work you will do, is in fact tooth. And that when we look for redundancies and inefficiencies, we have to look at protecting and enhancing the very things that you are working on today to support our soldiers and their families. So when I look at a Fort Lewis or a Fort Riley as its infantry brigades come back, or a Fort Bragg, or any installation, and I see the incredible challenge that we are going, as an Army, going to have to sustain those soldiers and families, maintain the great civilian workforce we have, the challenge is squarely again on your shoulders, and we are going to look to you to help us do that. You are the tooth of our Army. You call yourselves the home of our Army, but you are the tooth of our Army. And I want to personally thank you on behalf of the Secretary and the Chief and the Vice for all the work you do to sustain this incredible force and to help us move forward. The challenges are going to be very, very significant. We don't know where the next war will come. We don't know where the next challenge will be for our Army. But we know that with your support, your work, your commitment and dedication, our soldiers, our men and women in uniform, and our great civilians that support them, and the families that are the enduring part of their subsistence, will be there for this country in the future. I thank you for being here today. I thank you for having me. General Lynch, thank you and good luck to you and your